Hello and welcome back to Mr. English Lab. My name is Laura, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to clear, confident, and natural English. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Your support truly helps this channel grow. All right, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's session. Another natural sentence is, I usually consider different angles before deciding. These phrases sound reflective and mature, showing that you're thoughtful in your approach. Next, let's focus on sentences. For describing effort over time, you can say, this took time and persistence to develop. Another option is progress came from consistent small actions. These sentences sound realistic and motivating, helping you communicate patience and dedication. When you want to express acceptance, it can be done calmly and thoughtfully. For example, you can say, I have accepted that not everything is under my control. Another natural sentence is, I am learning to be comfortable with uncertainty. These sentences sound wise, showing that you understand limits and remain composed. Daily conversations also include moments of appreciation for learning. You can say, this experience has taught me valuable lessons. Another option is, I am grateful for what I learned through this process. These sentences sound positive and reflective, helping you express gratitude and maturity. Next, let's look at sentences for managing expectations. Clear expectations prevent frustration and misunderstandings. You can say, I want to set realistic expectations from the beginning. Another option is, it is important to be clear about what is possible. These sentences sound practical and grounded, helping others understand limits and goals. When you want to explain patience, it is helpful to sound calm and steady. You can say, good results often take time. Another sentence is, I am willing to wait for meaningful progress. These sentences show balance, persistence, and thoughtful planning. Daily English also includes sentences for expressing control over emotions. You can say, I am managing my emotions and staying focused. Another option is, I am choosing to respond calmly. These sentences help you stay composed, professional, and confident even in challenging situations. By practicing sentences for listening carefully, maintaining calm, reflective thinking, describing effort, accepting uncertainty, appreciating learning, managing expectations, showing patience, and controlling emotions, you will communicate more confidently and naturally in daily English. These phrases help you stay calm, clear, and mature, making your English sound professional, thoughtful, and easy for others to follow, even in complex or emotional conversations. These sentences show self-awareness and honesty, which are important in advanced English. Next, let's focus on sentences for explaining effort without seeking praise. You can say, I am doing my best to handle this responsibly. Another natural option is, I am focused on doing the work properly. These sentences sound humble but strong, showing that you are dedicated without needing recognition. When you want to acknowledge uncertainty, it is helpful to be honest. You can say, there are still things I do not fully understand. Another option is, I am open to learning more about this. These sentences sound sincere and thoughtful, helping you communicate openly. Daily English also includes sentences for planning and adjustment. You can say, I will adjust my approach if needed. Another natural sentence is, I am flexible as the situation develops. These phrases show adaptability and calm problem solving, which are useful in both work and everyday life. Next, let's look at sentences for explaining consistency. You can say, consistency helps me stay grounded. Another option is small actions repeated daily make a difference. These sentences are common in natural speech and help express steady progress over time. When you want to express focus, clear language works best. You can say, I am fully focused on what needs to be done. Another option is, I am minimizing distractions to stay productive. These sentences sound intentional and professional, showing that you are organized and attentive. Daily English also includes sentences for calm confidence. You can say, I trust my preparation. Another natural sentence is, I feel steady and prepared. These phrases sound quiet and strong, giving a sense of control without arrogance. Next, let's focus on sentences for reflection at the end of a day or experience. You can say, I like to reflect on what went well and what can improve. Another option is taking time to reflect helps me grow. These sentences sound thoughtful and mature, showing that you consider your experiences carefully. Now let's focus on sentences for explaining effort and discipline in everyday life. Many people talk about motivation, but fluent speakers often emphasize consistency. Instead, you can say, I focus on showing up every day, even when motivation is low. Another natural sentence is, discipline helps me stay consistent when things become difficult. These sentences sound practical and realistic, showing that effort matters more than temporary motivation. By practicing sentences for humble effort, acknowledging uncertainty, planning, consistency, focus, calm confidence, reflection, and discipline, you will speak English more naturally and confidently. Using these phrases regularly will help your speech sound thoughtful, steady, and professional, even in challenging or reflective conversations. These sentences are practical and honest, helping you communicate clearly in everyday English. In daily conversations, you may want to explain how you deal with pressure. Instead of sounding stressed, it is better to speak calmly. You can say, I try to stay calm under pressure and focus on what I can control. Another option is, pressure helps me stay focused when I handle it properly. These sentences show emotional control and make you sound composed and reliable. Next, let's focus on sentences for discussing responsibility in a team or group. You can say, everyone has a role, and I take mine seriously. Another natural sentence is, I focus on doing my part well so the whole process runs smoothly. These sentences show that you are cooperative, dependable, and mature. In group settings, daily English also includes sentences for explaining effort that is not visible to others. You can say, a lot of the work happens behind the scenes. Another option is, progress is often quiet before it becomes visible. These phrases sound thoughtful and realistic, helping you explain that meaningful effort sometimes goes unnoticed. Now let us look at sentences for explaining learning habits. You can say, I learn best when I practice regularly rather than occasionally. Another natural sentence is, I prefer steady learning instead of rushing through material. These sentences are common among fluent speakers and sound reflective and practical. When talking about improvement, it helps to stay grounded. You can say, I am improving gradually, and that is enough for me. Another option is I measure progress by consistency, not speed. These sentences sound mature, confident, and realistic. Daily conversations often include moments where you need to explain why you are careful. You can say, I prefer to be careful rather than rush into decisions. Another natural sentence is, taking time now prevents problems later. These phrases show foresight and responsibility. Now let us focus on sentences for explaining focus and attention. You can say, I try to give my full attention to one task at a time. Another option is staying focused helps me work more effectively. These sentences sound clear and intentional, showing that you are organized and productive. By practicing sentences for handling pressure, taking responsibility, working quietly, building learning habits, improving steadily, being careful, and staying focused, you will speak English more confidently and naturally. Using these phrases makes your English sound thoughtful, calm, and professional, helping others understand your approach to challenges, teamwork, and personal growth. These sentences are simple and natural, helping you speak English clearly in everyday situations. In daily life, you may want to explain why you choose simplicity. You can say, I prefer simple solutions because they are easier to maintain. Another natural sentence is, keeping things simple reduces unnecessary stress. These sentences sound wise and practical, showing that you think clearly and logically. Next, let's focus on sentences for describing routines that support growth. You can say, I follow a routine that supports my long-term goals. Another option is, daily habits shape long-term results. These sentences are common in reflective conversations and show that you are thoughtful about your actions and results. Daily English also includes sentences for expressing calm determination. You can say, I am determined to continue even when progress feels slow. Another natural sentence is, I stay committed to the process. These phrases sound strong without being aggressive, giving a sense of steady focus and reliability. Now let us focus on sentences for explaining how you deal with setbacks. You can say, setbacks are part of the process and I learn from them. Another option is, I try to respond to setbacks with patience. These sentences show resilience and maturity. When you want to acknowledge difficulty without complaining, calm and positive sentences work best. You can say, this requires effort, but it is worth it. Another natural sentence is, challenges help me grow stronger over time. These phrases sound balanced and optimistic, helping you stay confident, even in tough situations. Daily conversations also include sentences for expressing self-trust. You can say, I trust myself to handle what comes next. Another option is, I believe in my ability to adapt. These sentences help you sound confident, calm, and in control. Next, let us focus on sentences for explaining communication preferences. You can say, I appreciate clear and direct communication. Another natural sentence is, I prefer open conversations where expectations are clear. These phrases help others understand how you work best and show that you value clarity. When misunderstandings happen, staying calm is key. You can say, there seems to be a misunderstanding, so let us clarify it. Another option is, I want to make sure we are on the same page. These sentences prevent confusion and keep conversations productive and respectful. By practicing sentences for choosing simplicity, maintaining routines, staying determined, handling setbacks, trusting yourself, explaining, communication preferences, and clarifying misunderstandings. You'll speak English in a way that is calm, confident, and natural. Using these phrases regularly helps you sound mature, thoughtful, and reflective, which is exactly what advanced learners aim for in real-life conversations. These sentences help keep conversations smooth and natural. Daily English often requires explaining emotional balance. You can say, I try not to react emotionally in the moment. Another sentence is, taking a pause helps me respond thoughtfully. These phrases sound controlled and mature, showing that you can manage emotions while communicating clearly. Next, let us focus on sentences for describing personal growth. You can say, I have grown more patient over time. Another natural option is, experience has helped me become more aware. These sentences are reflective and common in daily English, showing that you have learned from life and are thoughtful about your progress. In everyday life, you may want to explain why rest is important. You can say, East helps me stay productive in the long run. Another option is, taking breaks allows me to recharge mentally. These sentences sound natural and practical, demonstrating that you understand your own needs and maintain balance. Daily conversations also include sentences for explaining balance between work and life. You can say, I try to balance productivity with rest. Another option is, balance helps me stay consistent without burnout. These phrases sound realistic and relatable, helping others see that you are responsible and aware of your limits. Now, let's move into sentences for expressing calm optimism. You can say, I am optimistic while staying realistic. Another natural sentence is, I believe progress will come with time and effort. These sentences avoid exaggeration and make you sound positive but grounded. When discussing outcomes, it is important to stay measured. You can say, the outcome may not be perfect, but it is meaningful. Another option is, I focus on progress rather than perfection. These phrases are common in fluent English and show that you value results while staying realistic. Daily English also includes sentences for explaining patience with others. You can say, everyone moves at a different pace and I respect that. Another sentence is, patience helps maintain good relationships. These sentences sound kind, thoughtful, and mature, showing that you are considerate in your interactions. Now, let us focus on sentences for acknowledging effort from others. You can say, I appreciate the consistency you bring to this. Another natural option is, your effort makes a real difference. These sentences help you recognize and value contributions, building trust and respect in everyday conversations. By practicing sentences for emotional balance, personal growth, rest, work-life balance, calm optimism, patience, and acknowledging effort, you will speak English more confidently and naturally. Using these phrases helps your conversations feel smooth, controlled, and thoughtful, which is what advanced English speakers aim for in daily life. These sentences help build positive connections in everyday conversations. Sometimes you may want to express that you're still learning. You can say, I am still learning and I am open to improvement. Another option is, growth comes from staying open-minded. These sentences sound confident and humble at the same time, showing that you are willing to learn without sounding unsure. Daily English also Includes sentences for explaining thoughtful decision-making. You can say, I consider the long-term impact before making decisions. Another natural sentence is, I prefer decisions that support stability. Using these phrases shows responsibility and careful thinking, which helps you sound mature and reliable. Next, let us focus on sentences for explaining how you stay grounded. You can say, I try to stay grounded by focusing on what matters. Another option is perspective helps me stay calm. These sentences are reflective and natural, showing that you are aware of your priorities and can manage your emotions. When you want to accept effort without stress, you can say, I do what I can and accept the rest. Another helpful sentence is, letting go of control helps reduce pressure. These phrases sound peaceful and calm, making your English feel steady and confident. Daily conversations also include sentences for expressing steady confidence. You can say, I feel steady in my approach. Another natural option is, I trust the process I am following. These sentences are quiet but strong, showing that you have confidence without needing to appear arrogant. Next, let us continue with sentences for daily reflection that keep the conversation open. You can say, each day gives me something new to learn. Another sentence is, reflection helps me improve one step at a time. These phrases help you sound thoughtful and in control, encouraging others to see you as reflective and mature. We can also use these sentences to support clear, confident, and natural English at an advanced level. As you practice, remember that these sentences are tools, not rules. You can adjust them to fit your own voice and your own situations, making your conversations feel personal and comfortable. Now, let us focus on sentences you can use when explaining your mindset. Mindset often comes up in conversations about work, learning, or personal growth. You can say, I try to approach situations with a calm and open mindset. Another natural option is, I focus on staying positive and learning from each experience. These sentences show maturity and help you communicate a thoughtful, flexible approach to life and work. Using sentences like these makes your English feel smooth, controlled, and natural. They help you express your ideas clearly, manage conversations confidently, and show thoughtfulness in every interaction. By practicing these phrases, you will speak English comfortably and confidently, without relying on complicated words or grammar. A very useful sentence about mindset is, my mindset helps me stay focused even when things are uncertain. This sounds thoughtful and balanced, showing that you can handle challenges calmly. In daily life, you often need to explain why you stay consistent even if you don't see immediate results. You can say, I stay consistent because results take time to appear. Another natural sentence is, I believe consistency creates long-term improvement. These phrases show patience and maturity, helping others see that you are committed and responsible. Next, let us look at sentences for expressing clarity about your direction. You can say, I am clear about where I am heading right now. Another option is, I know what I want to focus on at this stage. These sentences make you sound confident without being rigid or inflexible. Daily English also includes sentences for explaining how you deal with distractions. You can say, I try to limit distractions so I can stay focused. Another sentence is, reducing distractions helps me think more clearly. These phrases are common in everyday conversations and help show self-discipline. Now let us focus on sentences for explaining boundaries in personal situations. You can say I need some personal time to recharge. Another sentence is I value my personal space, and it helps me stay balanced. These sentences sound respectful and honest, helping you communicate needs clearly without offending anyone. Sometimes you want to explain why patience is better than rushing. You can say, I prefer to move carefully rather than rush and make mistakes. Another option is, taking time allows me to do things properly. These sentences show responsibility and thoughtfulness, which are key traits in advanced communication. Daily English also includes sentences for explaining trust in others. You can say, I trust people when communication is clear. Another natural sentence is trust grows when actions match words. These phrases are simple but meaningful, showing that you value reliability and honesty in relationships. Now let us focus on sentences for expressing accountability. You can say, I hold myself accountable for my actions. Another option is I believe accountability leads to growth. These sentences help you sound mature, responsible, and self-aware, which is important in both personal and professional conversations. By using sentences like these, you can communicate clearly, confidently, and naturally in everyday life. They show thoughtfulness, balance, and self-awareness without sounding complicated or artificial. The goal is to speak comfortably and calmly using sentences that are simple but strong. These phrases are tools you can adapt. You can use them in work, discussions, with friends, or personal reflection. They help you explain your mindset, direction, habits, and values in a way that sounds natural and advanced. These sentences sound strong and mature. When you want to explain why you stay calm in difficult conversations, you can say, staying calm helps me listen more effectively. Another natural sentence is a calm response keeps the conversation productive. These phrases show emotional intelligence and control. Daily conversations often include sentences for explaining values, especially honesty. You can say, honesty helps build strong relationships. Another option is I value honest conversations even when they are difficult. These sentences sound sincere and thoughtful. Now let us look at sentences for explaining effort and communication. You can say, I try to communicate clearly to avoid confusion. Another sentence is clear communication saves time and energy. These are practical and commonly used in daily life. In everyday conversations, you may want to explain why you reflect regularly. You can say, reflection helps me understand my actions better. Another sentence is, I reflect regularly to improve my decisions. These sentences sound mature and thoughtful. Daily English also includes sentences for handling uncertainty. You can say, I accept uncertainty and focus on what I can do. Another natural sentence is uncertainty is part of growth. These phrases sound calm and realistic. Now let us focus on sentences for explaining progress without comparison. You can say, I focus on my own progress rather than comparing myself to others. Another sentence is, everyone grows at a different pace. These sentences are often used by confident speakers when talking about challenges. You can also describe challenges positively. For example, challenges push me to improve. Another option is difficult moments often teach Valuable lessons. These sentences sound reflective and insightful. Daily. Conversations also include sentences for explaining self-awareness. You can say, I am aware of my strengths and my limitations. Another sentence is, self-awareness helps me improve steadily. These sentences show maturity and a thoughtful approach to personal growth. These sentences sound mature. Now let us move into sentences for explaining calm confidence. You can say, I feel confident without needing to prove anything. Another sentence is, quiet confidence comes from preparation. These sentences are subtle yet strong. In conversations, you may want to express that you are open to feedback. You can say, I am open to feedback and willing to improve. Another option is, constructive feedback helps me grow. These sentences sound professional and reflective. Daily English also includes sentences for explaining emotional balance. You can say, I try to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Another sentence is, managing my emotions helps me communicate better. These phrases show control and maturity. Now let us focus on sentences for explaining effort in learning English. You can say, I practice English daily to stay comfortable with the language. Another sentence is, regular exposure helps me maintain fluency. These sentences are very relevant for language learners. When you want to explain why you repeat practice, you can say, repetition helps make language feel natural. Another sentence is, daily practice builds confidence over time. These sentences are simple, clear, and accurate. Daily conversations also include sentences for explaining listening skills. You can say, I focus on listening carefully before responding. Another sentence is, good listening improves communication. These phrases sound thoughtful and wise. Now, let us move into sentences for explaining clarity of speech. You can say, I try to speak clearly so my message is understood. Another sentence is, clear speech builds trust. These sentences are straightforward and practical. In daily life, you may want to explain why you value simplicity in language. You can say, simple language helps ideas land clearly. Another sentence is, clarity matters more than complexity. These sentences are essential for advanced speakers. Daily English also includes sentences for explaining study effort. You can say, I show up consistently, even on quiet days. Another sentence is, study effort creates reliable results. These sentences sound disciplined and mature. Now let us focus on sentences for explaining calm optimism. You can say, I remain hopeful while staying grounded. Another sentence is, optimism helps me move forward. These phrases are balanced and reassuring. When discussing long-term goals without pressure, you can say, I am focused on long-term growth rather than quick wins. Another sentence is, long-term goals guide my daily actions. These sentences sound intentional and thoughtful. Daily conversations also include sentences for explaining patience with yourself. You can say, I am patient with myself as I learn. Another sentence is, self-patience supports progress. These sentences are kind, realistic, and encouraging. Now let us move into sentences for explaining how you manage stress. You can say, I manage stress by staying organized. Another sentence is, structure helps reduce unnecessary stress. These sentences are practical and natural in conversation. You may also want to explain your communication Style. You can say, I prefer direct but respectful communication. Another sentence is, clear expectations help me work better with others. These sentences help define boundaries clearly and politely. Daily English includes sentences for explaining trust in the process. You can say, I trust the process even when results are slow. Another sentence is patience allows progress to unfold naturally. These sentences sound calm and confident. Now, let us continue with sentences for daily reflection without closing the episode. You can say, each conversation teaches me something new. Another sentence is, every day offers a chance to improve communication. These sentences keep the flow open and thoughtful. Next, let us focus on sentences you can use when explaining how you handle responsibility. Over time, responsibility is not only about action, but also about consistency. You can say, I take responsibility for staying consistent even when no one is watching. Another useful sentence is, being responsible means following through, not just starting. These sentences sound thoughtful and reliable. In daily life, you may want to explain why you value preparation. Preparation often separates confident speakers from nervous ones. You can say, preparation helps me stay calm and focused. Another sentence is, when I prepare properly, I communicate more clearly. These sentences are simple, practical, and powerful. Let us move on to sentences you can use when explaining effort that happens quietly. Many advanced speakers express this calmly. You can say, most progress happens quietly through daily effort. Another sentence is, small actions repeated daily create meaningful change. These sentences sound reflective and grounded. Daily English also includes sentences for explaining how you handle pressure without drama. You can say, I focus on what I can control when pressure increases. Another sentence is, pressure becomes manageable when I stay organized. These sentences show calm confidence. Now let us look at sentences for explaining discipline in personal terms. You can say, discipline helps me move forward even when motivation fades. Another sentence is, I rely on habits rather than emotions to stay consistent. These sentences sound mature, honest, and practical. In conversations, you may want to explain why you value clarity. You can say, clarity helps avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. Another sentence is, clear expectations make communication easier for everyone. These sentences are widely used and sound professional. Daily English also includes sentences for explaining how you respond to mistakes calmly. You can say, I acknowledge mistakes and focus on correcting them. Another sentence is, mistakes are opportunities to improve. These sentences show maturity and a growth mindset. Challenges are opportunities to grow, not reasons to stop. These sentences show resilience. Now let us focus on sentences for explaining how you learn from experience. You can say, experience has taught me to be more patient. Another sentence is, I learn more from experience than from theory alone. These sentences sound natural, reflective, and thoughtful. In daily conversations, you may want to explain why you prefer steady improvement. You can say, I focus on steady improvement rather than quick results. Another sentence is, slow progress is still meaningful progress. These sentences are encouraging and realistic. Daily English includes sentences for explaining how you manage your energy. You can say, I manage my energy carefully to stay consistent. Another sentence is, rest helps me maintain focus and clarity. These sentences are practical and easy to use in conversation. Now let us move into sentences for expressing calm, confidence in social situations. You can say, I feel comfortable being myself in conversations. Another sentence is, I do not feel the need to impress others. These sentences sound grounded and self-assured. When you want to explain why you listen more than you speak, you can say listening carefully helps me respond thoughtfully. Another sentence is, I learn a lot by listening before speaking. These sentences show emotional intelligence and maturity. The owner, Mr. Matthews, was arranging a display of books about Europe. I asked for recommendations and explained that I wanted books with practical tips for first-time travelers. He suggested a few titles and described the content in detail. I asked about cultural etiquette, transportation tips, and safety recommendations. This interaction helped me practice asking informative questions, understanding explanations, and summarizing information in English, all of which are important skills for advanced learners. In the evening, I joined a cooking class with my wife. The instructor, Mr. Carter, was teaching a recipe for homemade bread. While following his instructions, I asked questions about kneading techniques, fermentation times, and oven temperatures. Using English to ask for guidance, describe my actions, and clarify doubts helped me practice both technical and conversational vocabulary. Cooking classes are especially effective for language practice because they require precise language and allow repetition through action and explanation. Later that evening, I visited a community library to attend a short lecture about renewable energy. The speaker, Mr. Singh, explained technologies such as solar panels, wind turbines, and hydroelectric systems. I asked questions about energy efficiency, costs, and environmental impact. His responses included technical terms, and I practiced paraphrasing them in my own words to make sure I understood. Engaging in educational discussions like this allows learners to experience real-world English in professional and academic contexts. After the lecture, I joined a small discussion group at the library cafe. Participants shared personal experiences about reducing household energy use, recycling, and using sustainable products. I contributed my own thoughts and asked follow-up questions. Conversations like these provide excellent practice for advanced English because they require listening carefully, thinking critically, expressing opinions, and using vocabulary accurately. These experiences, from bookstores and cooking classes to lectures and discussion groups, show that English learning can happen in many real-life situations. By actively engaging, asking questions, repeating new words, and summarizing information, you can strengthen your speaking, listening, and reasoning skills. Real-world practice helps you communicate clearly and confidently, whether you are in social, professional, or educational settings. Using English in everyday activities makes learning practical and enjoyable. Exploring books, cooking, attending lectures, and joining discussion groups allow you to learn naturally, expand your vocabulary, and improve fluency. Each interaction teaches you how to describe actions, ask relevant questions, summarize ideas, and respond politely. With consistent practice in these settings, English becomes a natural part of your thinking and communication. One of the people at The library discussion, Mr. Roberts explained how he had switched to energy efficient appliances at home. I asked questions about how he implemented them, the costs involved, and the benefits he noticed. Conversations like this help practice expressing opinions using cause and effect statements and applying technical vocabulary naturally. Talking about practical solutions in English is a great way to use advanced language skills in everyday life. Yesterday, I also had to organize my home office. While arranging files and documents, I thought about how to describe the process in English. I explained to my wife that I was categorizing papers into urgent, important, and reference sections. She asked questions about the method and I explained step by step, using English to describe organization strategies not only strengthens vocabulary but also helps develop clarity and precision in everyday communication. Later I visited a small electronics store to purchase a new laptop charger. The salesperson, Mr. Daniels, explained compatibility, options, voltage requirements, and warranty details. I asked specific questions like, is this model compatible with older laptops, and what is the expected battery life for this charger? Conversations like this improve technical vocabulary and prepare you for professional or technical interactions in English. In the afternoon, I participated in a community cleanup event. I met several new people, including Mr. Thompson, who coordinated the activity. We discussed strategies for efficient cleaning equipment, distribution, and volunteer assignments. I asked questions about organizing groups and scheduling shifts. Volunteering provides excellent opportunities for English practice in leadership, planning, and teamwork contexts. Using polite and clear language while managing tasks is excellent practice for advanced learners. Later that day, I stopped by a local flower shop. The florist, Mrs. Evans, explained the different types of flowers she sells, their care requirements, and which blooms last the longest. I asked questions about seasonal flowers and gift arrangements. By repeating keywords like bouquet, perennial, and floral arrangement, I reinforce vocabulary while practicing polite conversation. Talking with people in retail settings, whether about flowers or electronics, helps improve the ability to ask questions, respond clearly, and use descriptive language naturally. These experiences, from energy discussions and office organization to shopping, volunteering, and casual conversations, show that English can be practiced in many real life situations. Each interaction encourages careful listening, precise questioning, and thoughtful responses. Engaging actively in daily activities helps learners build fluency, expand vocabulary, and communicate confidently. Using English in practical, everyday context makes learning both useful and enjoyable. Conversations about energy, organizing work, shopping, volunteering, and flower care teach you how to express ideas clearly, ask questions politely, summarize information, and use specialized vocabulary. Over time, these small interactions add up, making English a natural part of your daily life while improving advanced speaking and listening skills. At the flower shop, I learned about the differences between seasonal flowers and exotic plants. I asked questions about care, instructions, sunlight needs, and watering schedules. I also asked for advice on creating a small indoor arrangement. This interaction required descriptive language, question forms, and polite responses, all essential skills for real-life communication. In the evening, I visited a nearby art gallery. The curator, Mr. Lee, gave me a tour and explained the themes and techniques behind each exhibit. I asked detailed questions about brushwork, color theory, and historical context. Using English in cultural settings like this strengthens analytical and descriptive skills and helps practice advanced vocabulary in an interesting and engaging way. Later, I joined a small discussion about healthy eating at a local community center. Participants, including Mr. Harrison and Mr. Carter, shared strategies for meal planning, balanced diets, and portion control. I asked questions about their approaches, clarified doubts, and offered my own experiences. Conversations like these are useful for practicing functional English, expressing opinions, and using complex sentence structures. During the night, I reflected on the day while reviewing my notes. I summarized all the conversations, questions, and new vocabulary I had encountered. I practiced describing the events, the people I met, and the topics discussed. Reflecting in English helps reinforce learning, improves fluency, and strengthens memory retention of advanced expressions and sentence structures. This morning, I decided to try a new jogging route. Along the way, I met Mr. Bennett, a fitness coach. We talked about stamina-building exercises, hydration, and daily routines. I asked for tips on long-distance running and how to avoid injuries. He explained the methods in detail, and I repeated the phrases to myself to internalize them. Discussing sports and health topics helps practice technical vocabulary, giving and following instructions, and expressing advice clearly throughout the day. Each interaction, whether at the flower shop, art gallery, community center, or during jogging, offered opportunities to practice different aspects of English. Some situations focused on descriptive language, some on technical terms, others on expressing opinions or explaining ideas, and many required polite questioning and thoughtful responses. Real-life practice like this allows learners to apply English naturally in various contexts, making it more than just a subject to study. By engaging actively in daily life, repeating phrases, asking questions, and summarizing experiences, you can improve both fluency and confidence. Each conversation, whether about flowers, art, healthy eating, or fitness, strengthens listening, speaking, and reasoning skills. Using English in real situations makes learning practical, enjoyable, and effective. With consistent practice like this, even ordinary daily activities can become meaningful lessons that help you speak clearly, describe accurately, and respond naturally. Talking about health topics in English helps combine specialized vocabulary with natural conversation skills. Later, I visited a local charity shop. The manager, Mr. Adams, explained how donations are sorted, categorized, and distributed. I asked questions about volunteer recruitment, store operations, and fundraising strategies. Conversations like these teach organizational vocabulary, polite questioning, and Listening comprehension in a real world. Context. In the afternoon, I joined a photography walk with Mr. Jackson, a professional photographer. We discussed camera settings, lighting conditions, and composition. While taking photos, I had to explain my choices, ask for feedback, and describe the scenery in detail. Creative activities like this improve descriptive language, vocabulary, and the ability to give and receive instructions naturally. Later, I visited a small bakery to observe the baking process. The head baker, Mr. White, explained techniques for kneading dough, preparing fillings, and baking bread evenly. I asked questions about oven temperature, timing, and ingredient substitutions. Engaging in technical discussions like this strengthens vocabulary, comprehension, and practical communication skills that can be used in everyday life. During the evening, I went to a local chess club. I met Mr. Richards, who shared strategies and tips for improving gameplay. While playing, we discussed openings, tactics, and past matches. I had to explain my moves, ask for advice, and analyze decisions in English. Conversational activities that involve strategy or planning are excellent for practicing conditionals, sequencing, and analytical vocabulary. Naturally, later that night, I joined a group of neighbors discussing plans for a community garden. Mr. Green explained soil types, planting schedules, and irrigation methods. I asked questions about plant compatibility, growth cycles, and care instructions. Using English in practical projects like gardening helps practice descriptive language, technical vocabulary, and polite interaction, all while engaging in real-life problem-solving. From health discussions to charity work, photography, baking, chess, and gardening, each activity offered opportunities to use English in a meaningful way. I had to listen carefully, ask questions, describe actions, give explanations, and respond thoughtfully. These real-life situations teach more than words. They train you to think in English, express ideas clearly, and communicate naturally. Engaging actively in daily activities makes learning practical, enjoyable, and effective. By asking questions, repeating phrases, explaining actions, and summarizing experiences, you gradually strengthen both fluency and confidence over time. Even ordinary events like visiting a bakery, joining a chess club, or planning a garden become valuable lessons for advanced English practice. Everyday conversations and activities help learners use English naturally, expand vocabulary, and apply grammar and sentence structures in real-world settings. Participating in discussions about gardening and organic farming helps practice specialized vocabulary, explaining processes, and polite interaction in English. This morning, I decided to visit a local farmers' cooperative. I met Mr. Davidson, who manages the distribution of fresh produce from nearby farms. I asked him about how they ensure quality, which fruits and vegetables are most popular, and how seasonal changes affect supply. He explained the processes in detail, including harvesting, storage, and transportation. While listening, I repeated key phrases in my mind and asked clarifying questions like, how long can the produce stay fresh without refrigeration? And do you prioritize organic products? Conversations like this teach advanced vocabulary naturally, while also letting you practice asking questions politely and responding thoughtfully. Later, I went to a nearby community swimming pool where I met Mr. Franklin, a coach who specializes in swimming techniques. He explained the importance of breathing rhythm, body positioning, and arm strokes. I asked about tips for endurance swimming, and he demonstrated the movement slowly so I could follow. While practicing, I had to describe my experience, ask for feedback, and clarify doubts in English. Sports related conversations like these are excellent for learning action verbs, procedural vocabulary, and conditionals. For example, if I keep my arm straight, will my stroke improve? In the afternoon, I stopped by a local pharmacy to check for vitamins and supplements. The pharmacist, Mr. Allen, explained the differences between multivitamins and specific mineral supplements. I asked questions about daily dosage, side effects, and timing. He also suggested alternatives for improving energy. Naturally, conversations like this provide opportunities to practice technical and professional English while learning how to ask clear questions and respond politely in a formal setting. Later, I joined a small group at a community library discussing renewable energy. One participant explained solar panels, wind turbines, and hydroelectric systems. I asked questions about efficiency, cost, and environmental impact. His responses included technical terms, and I practiced paraphrasing and summarizing in my own words. Educational discussions like this are perfect for practicing academic and professional English, reasoning skills, and formal expressions. Even small daily activities, like visiting a cooperative, going swimming, shopping at a pharmacy, or attending a discussion, can be great practice for English. Each experience allows you to listen carefully, ask relevant questions, use precise vocabulary, and respond naturally. By actively engaging in real-life situations, repeating key phrases, and summarizing experiences, learners strengthen their fluency, confidence, and ability to communicate effectively. In advanced English, every interaction, whether about farming, sports, health, or technology, becomes a lesson in practical English, helping you use language naturally in real situations. These experiences show that learning English doesn't only happen in classrooms. It happens in everyday life. Through curiosity, observation, and participation. By being active, polite, and engaged, you can improve your vocabulary, speaking skills, and comprehension while enjoying meaningful daily activities. Learning English can happen in everyday life, especially when you actively participate in practical activities and ask questions politely. One day, I visited a small electronics repair shop. The technician, Mr. Lawson, explained common problems with smartphones and laptops and how to fix them. I asked detailed questions like, which maintenance steps can prevent battery problems, and should I update software regularly or manually? While listening and responding, I practiced clear and precise English in a professional setting, which builds confidence when discussing technical topics. In the evening, I joined a photography workshop led by Mr. Reynolds. He showed how to use natural light effectively and how different angles change the look of a photograph. I asked about camera settings, focal lengths, and exposure. While practicing, I explained my choices out loud, described the results, and asked for feedback. Thank you so much for joining today's lesson here at Mr. English Lab. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling me what you want to learn next. Your support helps the channel grow and helps me create more lessons for you. Take care, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next class.